everybody, welcome to another video. Hope you're ready to flex those brain muscles. Today we're going to talk about domain and range and how to find the domain and range of linear functions. So let's go and get started. Let's define domain and range first of all. Domain is the set of all possible input values. So these are values we're plugging in for x, which is our independent variable. Remember how a function works? We plug something in, we get out something, right? That's how it works, input and output. So domain is the set of all possible input values. Range is the set of all possible output values. So in this case, let's think about what a possible input value means. So that's a number that I can plug in for x and get out some real number, right? So if I can plug something in for x and get out a real number, that thing I plugged in is an element of the domain, and that thing that I got out is an element of the range. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Okay, so what if we're given some function like this and we're asked to find the domain and the range? And maybe you look at it right away and you can tell that the domain and range are both all real numbers in this case, and you would be correct, but maybe you need to sketch a little graph, and that's what we'll do in a second. But before we do that, I'll give you a little hint. And if you can identify the function as a linear function, which in this case, it's clear that this is a linear function, then the domain is always all real numbers, right? And the range is almost always all real numbers. There's one main case where it's not. But if you can identify it as a linear function, your domain is, unless you're given a restricted domain. What if I'm given something like this? Such that x is greater than or equal to 0. So this means my x's, right, the numbers I'm plugging in are restricted to numbers that are greater than or equal to 0. So in this case, the domain wouldn't be all real numbers, right? But if we're not given some restricted domain, then the domain is all real numbers. So let's go ahead and graph this, and we'll see if we can make more sense of it by graphing it. And again, this is going to be a rough sketch. It's not going to be perfect. So that's my y-axis. This is my x-axis. I'm going to go up to the y-intercept at 1, 2, 3 and plot a point there. And then I'm going to go down 2 over 1, right, using my slope. And I'm going to draw a kind of straight line through these, all right? So now let's think about this. Possible input values. These are the things I'm plugging in for x. So I'm looking at the x-axis, and I'm looking at, let's say, like this value for x. This lines up with some y value, right? Some f of x, right? So in this case, that is an element of the domain, and I could keep going out forever. I can go out to, let's say this is -10, and it's going to line up with something because this line just keeps going, right? There's no jumps, there's no holes in the graph, and I could just keep going, and I would keep having to draw my line forever, but you get the idea. The x's are keep going all the way down to -infinity, and the same this way. I can go here and keep going out, and this line will just keep going. And the same idea applies for the range as well, all possible output values. So in this case, I'm looking at the y-axis, and I can keep going up and keep going up, and I can see that this is going to go up forever, and this is going to go down forever. And so in this case, the domain, and I usually write it like this, domain, and you may see this R with the 2 lines. That means all real numbers. And sometimes you'll see it written in interval notation, right? Which just means from -infinity to infinity. That's interval notation. So this is 2 ways to write all real numbers. And range, all real numbers, or same thing, interval notation, -infinity to infinity. And that just means my domain, right, the possible input values are all real numbers. Any real number you can any real number you can come up with, you can plug that in for x and you get some value out, right? And the same applies for the range. You can get any value out by plugging a certain number in for x, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the case where the range is not all real numbers. Okay, so if we're given y equals some constant, any constant, this is the case where the range does not equal all real numbers, right? No matter what I plug in for x, I get 2. So my set of all possible output values is just 2 infinitely many times. But when we have a set, we don't repeat the elements in a set. We just write range as 2. Another way to write it, your professor might just let you write range as y equals 2. That's fine as well. Or maybe just 2 would be an acceptable answer. But we can clearly see that it's not all real numbers. And it's kind of interesting that there's 2 cases for linear functions. Either it's all real numbers or it's just one number, right? It's kind of all or nothing with linear functions. Kind of interesting. Okay, there is one more thing I'd like to note. This is technically not a function. It's actually a vertical line itself, so it fails the vertical line test miserably. But it's still worth noting that this is a case where we have something that kind of looks linear. It's a line, right? It is linear. But the domain is not all real numbers. The domain is actually only x equals 2 in this case, right? Think about all the possible input values. That means that for the input, I need to plug something in for x that makes this a true statement. That's how it works, right? The only thing I can plug in is 2. And if you want to look at it graphically, we look at the x-axis, and x is kind of fixed. It's stuck at x equals 2 the whole way. So I would write domain, and I would do basically the same thing. I'd write 2, and I could write it as x equals 2, however your instructor wants to do it. And you may never see these two cases come up, but it's still worth noting, and hopefully it makes sense by looking at the graph. Kind of makes the most sense. This is not a function. We're talking about functions in this video, so I won't bring that up again. If you can identify something as a linear function, I'll say this again. If you can identify something as a linear function, the domain will be all real numbers, and the range will almost always be all real numbers unless it is just y equals some constant, right? That's the only case where it won't be. So, all right, hopefully this video helped clear up domain and range a little bit. The next video will be finding the range given a restricted domain with linear functions. So if you're struggling with that, make sure to stay tuned for the next video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hit subscribe if you want to support me. Leave any questions below, any suggestions for future topics. I'm willing to read those and take those into consideration. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and keep flexing those brain muscles, and I'll see you in the next video.